Good evening, friends, and welcome. Thank you for coming out to Arden's Acoustic Garden. I'm delighted to have you here. And please give a warm welcome to my guest, award-winning singer-songwriter Geoffrey Rutledge. I know all of you are eager to hear Geoffrey play tonight, and we're going to be getting to that in just a moment. We were just going to take a few minutes to chat and maybe give you a chance to get to know Geoffrey a little better. So, Geoffrey, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me.
It's really an exciting thing, and I'm glad that you're here.
I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where'd you grow up, and what kind of a family?
I grew up in Pontiac, Michigan. These folks probably know that by now. And just north of Detroit. And 6 kids.
That's a lot of kids.
Yeah, a lot of kids. Way too many.
And where did you fit into that structure?
I'm the baby of the family.
Ah, you were the baby.
Which is great, because if I'm 80, I'll still be the baby of the family. So I like that.
Musical family?
Well, my mother was a ballet and tap dancer and teacher. And then she had 6 kids. Just kind of put a damper on that a little bit.
Put a little crimp in it, huh?
Yeah, and her brother, my uncle, was a sax player, jazz, and he played with all the big bands in Detroit and a lot of different people who toured through there.
Any of your siblings play music at all?
Not really. A couple of good whistlers, but other than that, that's pretty much it.
But having all those older brothers and sisters, that's got to be a big influence, just the music that they brought into the house.
Oh, yeah. I used to listen to, when I was real little, listen to stuff from the 50s, first things from the old crooners that my mom and dad had their albums, and then things from the 50s and 60s and all the way down. So I had all these records I listened to, all kinds of music.
When did you start playing music?
When I was 9.
When you were 9?
Yeah, I had wanted a guitar since I was 7. So and my brother, one of my brothers, bought me a $5 guitar from a friend of his.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And so did you play this guitar at 9 years old?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I hopped on my bike after I got it and went down to the music store and signed up for lessons. And then I had to tell my folks. But
that takes a lot of gumption for a 9-year-old kid to decide, I'm going to sign myself up for lessons, and then say, hey, Mom and Dad, guess what? So did you stick with it?
I did. Well, I took lessons for probably about 6 months. And then I just started learning from records, ruining my brother's records with the needle over and over and over again. Didn't have fast forward back then, or reverse, rewind.
So you just played at home and practiced a lot. When did you start playing gigs?
It wasn't until I was in college, actually. Yeah, and I'd play around campus, different bars, and. And
what were you going to become in your college quest?
Brain surgeon. That didn't work out very well. So, no, actually, I wanted to go into music, but there was a 3-semester wait to get in the music department, so I couldn't really wait that long. So I just quit and started playing music and working various odd jobs.
And so when did you start playing out of the Michigan area, and how did that start?
Well, a buddy of mine that I knew was from Tennessee, and I was in a trio. He kind of helped us out. He was older, and he called me up one day and asked me if I wanted to come down to Tennessee and play, do a duo. And I didn't have any money, so but I had bought a lottery ticket, the first one ever, like a 50-cent deal or whatever, and I won $50.
Wow, so, there you go, Tennessee, so here I come.
All set. So I loaded up my dog and headed down to Tennessee.
And it worked out well for you there?
It did, yeah. That was pretty much, after that, that's what I did for a living.
So I know at some point you started sending some tapes around, and then you got a call from an agent. I guess probably when you were back in Michigan.
Yeah, an agent in Atlanta, and it was the worst winter in like 50 years or something in Michigan, and so he called up and he said, would you like to go play down in Key West? And I said, well, where's that?
And he said,
I wasn't
it's
a geography
almost
major,
to
as you
Cuba,
can
right?
tell. Yeah, he said it's about 90 miles north of Cuba. And so I said, well, then it must be warm, so we're going. So we left, and I actually lived there for 2 years.
And that's at the point where you really became a full-time working musician and touring
Starving musician.
touring pretty extensively. From there, you started gigging all up and down the East Coast.
Right,
And,
Cape Cod and
And,
various places.
boy, you did pretty well for yourself, too.
Yeah, it was okay. It was fun.
You had some pretty cool gigs back in those days.
Yeah.
You played the Cape Cod Melody Tent and opened for some pretty big names.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Who did we open? We opened for the Oak Ridge Boys
Cool.
and Jay Leno.
Really?
Yeah, he was doing a stand-up.
Was he funny?
He was really funny, yeah.
Good, because he might see this tape. So.
Yeah, he was hilarious. I was rolling on the floor. Guy was really good.
So you were playing a lot and traveling a lot, too.
Mm-hmm.
And I know all those gigs weren't wonderful. What was the worst gig that you ever had?
The worst. This is, yeah, probably the strangest and the worst. I played at a place in Gainesville, Florida called Skeeter's Big Biscuit, and we played from 1 in the morning till 5 in the morning.
Oh,
And not only that, but we had to wear cowboy hats.
no.
Yeah, all of us. There were cowboy hats hanging around the stage, and they said, well, you have to wear a cowboy hat. And so, we put on our cowboy hats. My friend, one of my partners, Warren, has the largest head in the world, and it looked like one of those little party hats on top. So I couldn't look at him all night. But we played, and, to the people who come in at 3 in the morning to have breakfast.
Good
and,
crowd.
Great crowd. And we thought this one table was really enjoying us, and we got off on break and went over to talk to them, and it was a Swedish swim team, and they didn't understand a word we said. So it was a great gig, yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Sounds really good.
Trying to get back there.
So, at some point, I know that you played out for 10 years, maybe more. At some point, you decided that you just didn't want to do that anymore.
I needed to take a break and try to write some music. So I did for probably about a year. I was living in Annapolis, Maryland. Then I moved out to California, and I was working construction.
That's an unusual job for a musician.
Oh, it is. It's yeah. Paper route is more like it. I would have rather had it. But after working like 12-hour days and coming home and just falling asleep, I said, this isn't too much fun. I'd rather play music.
And so that's when you started focusing in earnest on your own songs and your own songwriting?
Yeah, I did. I wrote a lot, but I still played in bars and, would go down to Key West and,
Right.
run down there and make some money and, come back.
And I know that at some point in this little history, you met a fellow named Len Smith.
Mm-hmm.
The two of you hooked up and started playing gigs around this area,
Yeah.
the Monterey Bay, Santa Cruz area.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, you tell the story.
Well, is there a story?
I think there's a story.
Yeah, I started doing a duo with Len, and then I had played with John Tyndall, who's going to be playing tonight, down at Key West. And John came out to write some music for a while. But before he got out, Len and I were playing at a place in Capitola.
You can mention
Zelda's.
it. There you go.
Yeah, I get a free meal or something. Right?
We hope so,
Okay.
anyway. Here's to Zelda.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. We met Peter and Jane Olson, really excellent friends of ours, and Peter asked us if we had a financial backer, And we said, no, you know.
But we'd like one.
So anyway, Peter backed us, and it was wonderful, and I had a great time, and
And that's where we got RST,
so yeah.
Rutledge, Smith, Tyndall.
Right. And so anyway, we were wanted to do a CD, and we were looking for someone to produce it.
Mm-hmm.
And we met Linda, a friend of ours. She's out there. Is she out there somewhere? And she said, my uncle, you know, is really good. And I said, well, you know, she said, he's a drummer. And I said, well, who's he played with, you know? Just curious. And she said, oh, James Taylor and Crosby, Stills and Nash. And it turned out to be Russ Kunkel, who I think is touring with James right now. But it was just a stroke of luck. So
So Russ Kunkel produced your first
yeah,
album.
he did, it was great.
And I know in between your first album and your second album, there was a tremendous groundswell in this area. I started hearing all this buzz about this band, RST. And during that time, I know you built some really loyal fan bases in Key West, where you had played for many years.
Right.
In Texas, where you guys were enormously well received at the Kerrville Folk Festival.
Right, that was a lot of fun.
And in California. So you had the space of a few years between your first and your second CD where this became really a phenomenon. You guys were very successful in these regional pockets.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great run. You know, we were kind of hoping it would keep going, but it's a tough business, you know. And I think that was about the time the grunge thing hit.
You
up
boys
in,
were
up in
just too
Seattle,
clean
and
for grunge,
yeah,
weren't
we
you?
were just yeah. So it kind of slipped through the cracks, but you know, got to keep going.
Yeah, and now you're sort of doing your solo thing.
Mm-hmm.
Has it been a hard thing going from a band that was really renowned for its three-part harmony to a solo act? How's that transition
Yes,
been
I mean,
for
you miss those, you know, I mean, John is singing harmony with me. He was in RST. But you really miss the strong three-part, you know. We used to do a cappella songs, you know, no
Right.
music. So you kind of miss that, but, you know, after you get used to it after a while, sort of.
Just keep plugging along.
Just
Well,
keep
you're
plugging
doing
along,
great
yeah.
now. You've got a brand new CD out.
Called The Big Top.
And
If
recently...
I had one, I would
Well,
show it.
we'll do that after
Oh.
the show.
Okay.
Okay. You got to open for John Prine recently.
Yeah, that was
How
great.
was that?
That was wonderful because it was definitely my demographics, you know, and I've been a longtime fan of John Prine, so it was great.
It's fun to play in front of an audience that really gets what you're doing.
Yeah, it really is.
So I think that your songs are something that you cover a lot of ground that a lot of people can relate to. Everyday frustrations, you know, the inability to express yourself, the inevitability of death, but you do it in a really poppy, perky kind of way.
Snappy way.
Why do you think that works?
I don't know. I really, you know, one of my favorite, or my favorite songwriter is James Taylor, and he has a way of twisting a song where it's not a real happy song, but it's a feel-good song, whether or not the subject matter is up or not.
Well,
you know?
the common theme I find running through all your songs is love conquers all, no matter what the problem
That's
is.
pretty much it.
Well, I know that everybody here is going to buy your CD right after the show,
Really?
but for those who will be watching this on television at home, can you let them know where we can get that fine CD?
At cdbaby.net.
No, .com.
.com. I'm so good at this stuff.
And we'll be able to find you at geoffreyrutledge.net.
.net, right. She knows everything. Yeah, I should have a website up within 3 weeks or something. You know, I'm not very proficient at the computer. I thought a PC was a pocket calculator until about a year ago, so I'm working on it.
Well, you know, I think the time has come for you to do the thing that you do the best and join your pals up there. Would you all give a warm welcome to Geoffrey, Rutledge, and friends?
There it is. Got everything but a pick. I bought a dozen today and I don't know where they are. I bought a gross of them one time. That's almost like 144. And I lost the whole bag. I used 2 picks. Okay. There is a stream of consciousness. There is a river of doubt. There is a land of plenty next to the land without. There's evil hidden. There is love abound. There is inner peace. Only few have found. Such is the way of the world. This is who we become. Such is the way of the world. Something for everyone. There are bones in the closet we will never see. There is a man I have become. There is a man I wish to be. There's a shot in the dark. There's a futile try. There's a point of no return. Some point in your life. Such is the way of the world. This is what we become. Such is the way of the world. Something for everyone. Such is the way of the world, yeah. This is what we become. Such is the way of the world. Something for everyone. There is a dream we cling to. There is a naked truth. There are mistakes that we've made. There is a promise of our youth. There are lines in our faces from the hills we've climbed. There is a hole in the future for better times. Such is the way of the world. This is what we become now. Such is the way of the world. Something for everyone. Such is the way of the world. This is what we become. Such is the way of the world. Something for everyone. Thank you. Appreciate that. This is a song called Life is Like a Baseball Game. Arden likes this song. I was going to call it Life is Like a Curling Game, you know, with the brooms and stuff, but I don't know anything about that game. So. Did you hear about Brother Lloyd? I just got the word. He stepped into that other world. When he stepped off of that curb, they say he never knew what hit him. They say that's the best way to go. But who the hell are they anyway? And how do you suppose they know? Now life is like a baseball game, unpredictable from the start. It's when you think you got all your bases covered, someone knocks one out of the park. And life is like a baseball game where the underdog's trying to win. It's every day swinging with all your might, trying to make it home safe again. Now some folks plan their lives to the minute, and they can't believe their eyes when the unexpected puts a hole right in it. They act like it's a big surprise. Do they think the world revolves around them? We don't have a clue, 'cause they look at you like you're from some other planet. You don't see it the way they do. And life is like a baseball game, unpredictable from the start. It's when you think you got all your bases covered, someone knocks one out of the park. And life is like a baseball game where the underdog's trying to win. It's every day swinging with all your might, trying to make it home safe again. Pick one, Johnny. When my game is over, when my clock runs out, I wanna know I played the best I could, even if they don't stand and shout. When I walk off of that field into a world beyond, I see old Lloyd at the pearly gates, waiting with a smiling sun. Now life is like a baseball game, unpredictable from the start. It's when you think you got all your bases covered, someone knocks one out of the park.
It's a high fly ball, it's out of here.
Say life is like a baseball game where the underdog's trying to win. It's every day swinging with all your might, trying to make it home safe again. Yeah, it's every day swinging with all your might, trying to make it home safe again. Let's all now make it home safe again. Play ball. Thank you. All right. I'd like to introduce Gary Kehoe, beating on things back here. Great percussionist. Good buddy of mine, and John Tyndall.
Old what's his name?
John was in RST with Len and I.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you.
All right. Happy all these fine folks are here as well.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. Really appreciate it. Well, let's see now. Here's the title song off the Big Top. It's called The Big Top. Funny how that works. It just worked out well that way. would take a scientist to explain, I'm sure. Oh, that's enough. Okay, Geoffrey, that's enough. If I was a fearless man on the flying trapeze, I'd be reaching out for your hand. But just one look put your heart at ease. My, wouldn't that be grand? Then the crowd below would say, look at them go, without a care so high above. On the edge of their seats, with envious smiles that say, now there's two people in true love at the big top. At the big top. If I had a top hat and tails and a magic wand, I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd make the rest of the world simply disappear so I could be alone with you. Then at my command, you'd be putty in my hands under some kind of spell. Then you and me would be a mystery. Oh, the stories they would tell at the big top. At the big top, at the big top, love is a high wire act, and it's best to make no mistakes. At the big top, you got to keep your heart intact, 'cause just one slip is all it takes. Well, I may not be that brave, but I know that my heart is strong. And I'm afraid of heights, and illusions only last so long. If you take my hand, I'll be a fearless man. I could tame those lions tonight. And you must believe the only thing up my sleeve is loving you with all my might. At the big time, at the big time, at the big time, yeah, yeah, the big time. Thank you. John just reminded me to retune after this because
You always forget.
I always forget. I didn't almost not forget that time.
Usually like a third of the way through the next song, he's kind of frantically going,
I'm way out of tune.
but since this is TV, you know,
All right, this is a song about one of our ancestors, Aunt Lucy.
goes out to any anthropologists or any types of the people like that out there.
Whatever those things are. Yeah, I was reading an article in Discover magazine, and hence this song. When they dug up old Aunt Lucy, their opinions of us changed. I read it in the papers. It took a scientist to explain. older than dirt. She's as close as you can be. Over 3 million years old today, related to you and me. I said, oh, Aunt Lucy, thank you for what you did. You taught us all the two-step, you blessed hominid. That's how they sounded back then. They say the tall grass of the savannah, together with the heat of the sun, changed the posture of our ancestors, those little hairy ones. They decided wide open spaces were the places that surely would please. Left their swinging vines and coconuts behind, came down out of the trees. I said, oh, Aunt Lucy, thank you for what you did. You taught us all the two-step, you blessed hominid. I bet it was much more peaceful, Lucy, when you were alive. Look at all the trouble we're in now, and our brains are twice your size. We're just monkeys in disguise. Now Christianity kept us apart till Darwin came along, and it's been tooth and nail ever since, trying to prove who's right or wrong. Maybe God created the monkey a sort of trial size, and she left it at that because she saw the promise in his eyes. I said, oh, Aunt Lucy, thank you for what you did. You taught us all the two-step, you blessed hominid. I said, whoa, Aunt Lucy, we owe it all to you. If you never would have learned to walk upright, I'd be wearing 2 pairs of shoes. Now we theorize that you fossilize. We're just bipedal fools. Aunt Lucy, yeah. Thank you. Good job. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that. This song goes out to anyone who likes country music. Y'all like country music? The rest of you, will you tolerate some?
It'll be over in, about 4 minutes.
This is good gin. Wrote this while I was driving across Texas. That's how you have to say it. Texas. So I'm told. You paint your face, you rat your hair, you cuss a lot, but I don't care. Hell, I don't mind, 'cause love is blind. Can't you see? I'm going bald, I'm overweight, I get drunk and obstinate. But you understand, 'cause hell, I'm your man. Darling, that's plumb fate. Can you say, honey, that I've fallen hard for you? So let's pool our money, get us a double wide trailer for 2. I ain't budging an inch until you say I do, 'cause it's a God-given God-given fact that I'm in love with you. Now, do you recall the night we met? Rained real hard, you got real wet. Your makeup ran all down your face. You was upset, I could just tell by looking at you. I kissed your lips, sopped up the tears. Now you've been mine for what seems like years. So be my wife, hitched for life, my darling dear. Can you say, honey, that I've fallen hard for you? So let's pool our money and get us a double wide trailer for two. I ain't budging an inch until you say I do. 'Cause it's a God-given fact that I'm in love with you. I'll take it there, Johnny, Billy, Bob, Joe, Ed, Ted, Fred.
All right.
Going on that pie, Annie. Oh, ain't that pretty? Now, I love your front. I love your rear. I may be blunt, but I'm sincere. You know, I love them little nothings that seems to be always on your mind. So make it official, say you'll be mine. Put your initial on that dotted line until death do us part for all time. I've fallen hard for you. So let's pool our money, get us a double wide trailer for two. I ain't budging a dang inch until you say I do. 'Cause it's a God-given fact that I'm in love with you. It's a God-given fact that I'm in love with you. Thank y'all. John Tyndall on the lead guitar and lead piano. He's one of those guys who can play every instrument, you know.
I could feel the spirit of Floyd Kramer passing through me.
Right. Oh, I'm out of gin.
I could turn a few of these lights down. It's bright up here.
I got some sunscreen on. Well, let's see here. You know, I don't know what time we started, but because we restarted. So I'm sure we have time for a few more. Here's a song from my first CD.
This is going to be a big wedding song this year. So if anybody's planning a wedding, this should be the song for it.
So,
Word to the wise.
Word to the wise.
Be the first on your block.
I haven't sung this song in about 40 years, I think. So I had to write the words down. Well, I remember the day that he was born. Terrible writing. Can I start over? Okay. Sorry.
There, you're right down there. Right, yeah.
I almost had it. Oh, it's that one. Okay. I remember the day that he was born. Okay, sorry about this. This is going to be edited, right? Okay.
It is going to be now.
So y'all know the first line, so you can help me sing it, all right? Okay. I remember the day that he was born.
That's nice.
The hospital ride in that terrible storm. The waiting, the pacing, fear and the joy. Pass him out, light him up, it's a baby boy. Our little man fits in the palms of my hands. Grows like a weed, time flies by. Soon we're shoulder to shoulder, eye to eye, wish him well. My, how he's grown, testing waters. All on his own, he is on his way. Time will tell. Now it's girls on the phone and wheels of his own. Wish him well. Just 21 and feeling his oats. No more classes, quizzes are taking notes. Diplomas in hand, caps in the air. May the sun shine bright on our futures out there. All too soon they'll know life's a hard line to toe. It's not an easy world we've handed down to a generation in the lost and found. Wish them well. On the road alone, all decisions they'll make on their own. They are on their way. Time will tell. Now the boy is a man. Shake his hand and wish him well. Life is one big mystery movie, waiting for us to complete. Makes you laugh, cry, or cover your eyes on the edge of your cinema seat. It was a lovely day and everyone came, tears in eyes as she took his name. All in all, a beautiful sight. True love in black and white. Their little girl, our only son, joined together by love, blessed by the one above. Wish them well, wish them well. Out on their own, ring those bells. They're no longer alone, they are on their way. Time will tell. Throw the rice, kiss the bride, and say goodbye. Wish them well. Throw the rice, kiss the bride, say goodbye. Wish them well. Thank you. Oh. That was a tough one.
Guess that's too long for a wedding anyway, huh? This is a really long aisle.
All right, here's a I saw this strange kind of thing on PBS. I don't know if anyone else saw it, but it was about the Lobster Boy. Anyone else see it? Maybe I imagined it. But it was this thing about this Carney village up in
Gainesville?
Gainesville, somewhere around Gainesville.
Where
Where I
else,
played
right?
by Skeeters, right next to Skeeters. Yeah. Yeah, no wonder. I thought that guy was really tall that came in. So anyway, it was about this. He was called the Lobster Boy, and he had kind of lobster, hands and feet, and he had a few kids, and some were born, with the lobster thing, and some were his daughter was born normal, and he resented that. So he actually turned out to be a pretty nasty guy. He was a womanizer.
Hey, you're giving the song away, man.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Anyway, so this is about his demise. He was found not alive one day. So, that's a happy thought, huh? Oh yeah. Thanks, Joan. Got a letter about a month ago, official from the county clerk. Said time for your civil duty, boy. Prepare to take a week off of work. There was a homicide last summer, I recall in the news of the weird. They took a statement from a barker, a statement from a lady with a beard. They said somebody done in the lobster man, somebody took his life. Rumors running rampant around a carnival, fingers point at the wife. Was it self-defense or a family plan? Only the guilty knows. There is a sideshow at the county seats. Everybody wants to go. Now the monkey boy said to the alligator lady, I ain't sad he's gone. And the Siamese twins were just beside themselves when they heard what was going on. The ticket girl started to cry, but that's another story in itself. 'Cause there's a stiff at the morgue wearing nothing but a toe tag lying in a drawer on a shelf. And somebody done in the lobster man, somebody took his life. And there's rumors running rampant around a carnival, and fingers point at the wife. Was it self-defense or a family plan? Only the guilty knows. There's a sideshow at the county seat. Everybody wants to go. Now the judge called all to order. Was a sight to see. The fat man next to the stick man, the bearded lady making eyes at me. The lawyers were coiled and ready to strike. The witnesses took the stand. And after 15 minutes of deliberation, the bailiff had the verdict in hand. There was more tension than a tightrope when the gavel came down in the end. Guilty was the wife and the lobster boy's son and a $200 friend. Justice was served that morning. The carnies packed up to leave, except for the ticket girl crying at a one-car funeral. Nobody agreed that somebody done in the lobster man, somebody took his life. Rumors running rampant around a carnival, fingers point at the wife. Was it self-defense or a family plan? Only the guilty knows. There's a sideshow at the county seat. Everybody wants to go. Somebody done it, the lobster man. Somebody took his life. Truth was he was abusive to his family and cheated on his wife. Was it self-defense or a family plan? Only the guilty knows. There is a sideshow at the county seat. Everybody wants to go. There is a sideshow at the county seat. Everybody wants to go. Thank you. Go like this. All right, thanks. True story, though. It's honestly, it's a true story. I don't believe it. Okay,
You know how they did away with him? There was a huge pot, boiling water.
Okay.
That's
I think we
cool.
have time for 2 more, I think.
We haven't seen the little sign yet.
7 minutes.
Okay, we can do 2 more if we do them twice as fast as we normally play them.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to squeeze 2 in. So, you want to talk about anything? All right, we'll squeeze it in anyway. Okay. He never said what he was really feeling. He never made it that clear. The station wagon is packed to the ceiling. Soon it'd just be a reflection in her rearview mirror. She gave all she could give. He took all he could take. Now she'll be living a brand new life. He'll be living with all his mistakes, but it was right on the tip of his tongue as she drove away. Those 3 words he meant to say, right on the tip of his tongue. Now he can't get them out of his head. Those 3 words left unsaid. He couldn't follow in his father's footsteps, 'cause they were twice his size. Always falling short of expectations. It would never be eye to eye. Got a job on a merchant ship. He'd be gone for years. Bon voyage at the docks, a 50 and a handshake. Never said what they both wanted to hear, but it was right on the tip of their tongues as he sailed away. Those 3 words they meant to say, right on the tip of their tongues. Now they can't get them out of their heads. Those 3 words left unsaid. This old world is short on love, spread so thin it's hard to see. But I'm sure if you give enough, it'll come back around eventually. Thought about settling down, the thought just never occurred. After all these years of bouncing around, I finally bumped into the likes of her. It was just a matter of time. Love crept up from behind, and now we're living a brand new life. Imagine that, man and wife, because they roll off the tip of my tongue. Finally made it out of my head. Those 3 words I never said, right off the tip of my tongue. So easy to say. Those 3 words still stand today. Those 3 words still stand today. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. What's that? I might be able to squeeze it in. This goes out to any Vietnam vets out there, any veterans out there. Take me home, my heart is yearning to go home, blow blow out the candle that's burning in the window, and tell my mother not to worry, I am safe now in his holy arms. I was sent to this faraway land, half a boy and half a man, to fight a war we still don't understand, that took the lives of many a man. So take me home, my heart is yearning to go home. Blow out the candle that's burning in the window, and tell my mother not to worry, I am safe now in his holy arms. We return from the mess they made, no confetti, no parades. We return to take the blame, and all that's left is a wall of names. So take me home, my heart is yearning to go home. Blow out the candle that's burning in the window, and tell my mother not to worry, I am safe now in his holy arms. So put my name on that granite wall. Remember me when your country calls. Remember those you leave behind. Was there a war that saved mankind? So take me home, my heart is yearning to go home. Blow out the candle that's burning in the window, and tell my mother not to worry, I am safe now in his holy arms. I am safe now in his holy arms.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that. Thank you. John Tyndall, Gary Kehoe.